Hey everybody, this is Kennedy Hawk from the MCM team. We are going to continue playing against these Sinister mode of villains. Today playing against Venom in standard mode with the recommended setups against Aggression, Miles Morales, Spider-Man. So if you haven't played Miles before, he is definitely a form-flipping hero. He has a really cool ability on this side. If I can get the focus to work, maybe today. Alright, what's going on, Mr. Camera? Come on. There we go. Venom Blast and Spider Camouflage basically gives out a bunch of statuses. On the other side, he's going to shuffle a signature card back into his deck when you flip to that form. So we're going to want to do that a lot. Venom has a really interesting mechanic. Every time he takes damage from an attack, you deal yourself a boost card. And when he activates against you, he gains all of those boost cards. It can be brutal. He has a bell tower mechanic, so every time we deal damage to him with an attack, instead of dealing damage, we can place chime counters on the bell tower. When there are 3 or per player chime counters here, you're going to flip it, and then he's going to take extra damage, and his attacks are going to get delegated to stopping the bell from chiming as he hates that noise. We've got a 10 threat per player side or scheme that could pop and make us lose the game, and it basically tells you to move the boost cards to Venom when he activates against you. So we'll shuffle up Miles' deck here, deal ourselves our opening 6, and see how this goes. So again, this is like a new camera setup, so trying out a couple different ways to get the stream going before I do a live stream instead of just pre-recorded YouTube videos. So someday you'll be able to heckle me on live stream and tell me how bad my plays are instead of in the comments. And then maybe I'll make less mistakes because I'll have people watching me and yelling at me. Or I'll make more mistakes because I'll be super nervous. TBD. Tune in to find out. Alright, 6 cards. We've got Double Life, Ironheart, Web Shot, Power Within, Press the Advantage, and Arachnomatics. Lots of good stuff. Not lots of stuff we need, though. So we're going to keep Double Life to make sure we have an energy resource for Web Shot. We're going to use these 2 to play Ironheart. So I guess we can keep the last one and make way. So we'll pay 2 right away for an Ironheart, which will draw us a card. We've now got a surprise attack in hand as well. We're going to flip up, and we're probably not going to play a surprise attack. I think what we're going to do is use surprise attack and double life to play Web Shot. Web Shot's going to try to deal 4 damage to Venom, but instead it's just going to flip over this chime tower. So we're placing 4 damage. It's at 3 or more per player, so it's going to flip. Then he now takes 1 extra damage from attacks, or from all sources, not just attacks. So we're going to end up, before we do any of this, first of all, let's hit Tough off the villain, because we can't technically damage him with an attack and hit things onto the tower until Ironheart does that. Then we'll do Web Shot. Now we're on the right page. We're going to deal 3 damage with our Venom Blast and throw a stunned out. He is going to get no boost cards, because he hasn't taken any damage from attacks, only from the Venom Blast ability. We're going to discard an Acrobatics, and we will go swinging in for 3, because it's going to increase again. And since he's stunned, I don't mind dealing an extra boost card for now. Drawing 5 cards. We have got Wasp, Relentless Assault, Angela, and hey, Web Shot again. Sweet. Alright. Venom is going to get a threat. He's going to chuckle as he is stunned. He's going to deal us an encounter card, which is an assault. So he will get to attack us. We'll block with Ironheart. And Ironheart is getting hit for 3, 4. That's what she's there for. That sounds good. Ironheart is toast. Basically, we're blocking with Ironheart because if Miles takes the damage, we remove chime counters before we take damage, and we don't want to... We want that extra damage from the chime counters, basically. So we're not doing any of that shenanigans yet. All right, we're going to use a Relentless Assault and an Angela to pay for another shebang Web Shot. So that's going to do 8 damage total. A 5 and a 3. And it's going to stun him again. It is an attack, so he will get dealt 1 face down boost card, which we're going to put right here. Hopefully, we remember where things go. This guy's almost dead. We have a Wasp we can play with 1 counter on her. I don't want to trigger her yet because I want to We'll wait until I can do a bunch of damage, and when I flip, he's going to get toughness, and he's going to get stalwart, and all that nasty stuff. So we're just going to thwart for 2 with Spidey for now. We're going to ready up and see where things go. So we are drawing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Venom's going to take his turn. He gets 1 threat. He is stunned. And our encounter card is Shadows of the Past. All right. Well, good thing I didn't flip to Alter Ego, because I was just thinking about doing that. So we now have the Prowler. If we were in Alter Ego form, he would get a bunch of bonuses, but he's just a stalwart 5 health. 1 scheme to attack minion that is engaged with us over here. Waltzing the waltz. Shuffling the rest of that Nemesis set here into the encounter deck. And it's our go. So, we've got a Throg. I like Throg. Throg is good. And he comes into play with a Tough, which is even better. So we will use Wasp and Spider-Man to get rid of Prowler. We will pay 2 for Throg before we do that, and he'll have toughness. That's totally the order I did that in. And we'll get a web shooter down. We're not going to attack with Throgs. We're going to use that toughness for now to soak some cards, and that's totally fine. Putting 1 threat on the main scheme. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards coming to our hand. We've got Strength, Web Shot, Press the Advantage, Genius, and Genki. Okay, so we placed our threat. He is going to attack into Throg for 2, just 2, into a Tough. We place 1 extra threat because of that side scheme. And we have an Enraged Symbiote to deal with. No biggie. That is not a biggie for us at all. So we're going to use Strength to play Genki. We're going to use Press the Advantage and a Web Shooter to play Web Shot. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 to the Symbiote, and then we're going to do 3 and a stun over here to Venom. So we can now thwart for 2. Can thwart for 1. And we're going to flip down and shuffle a Web Shot back into our deck. We'll use our boy over here to draw a card. And we can sit in Alter Ego form for 1 turn. We're kind of playing this game with trying to not flip him at the inopportune moment, and we'll see if that works out for us. We want to be able to flip him and then just lay a ton of damage into him on stage 2. So we drew Arachnobatics. That is good because it is 5 damage. I'm going to pitch a Genius because I don't need that right now. I need attacks more than I need anything else. So I've got Swing In, Arachnobatics, Plan of Attack, Bug, Combat Training, and Surprise Attack. These are all good things. Okay. Venom's turn. He's going to get 2 threat. He's going to scheme for 1 plus 2. 3 more. It's going to put it to 6 total. We get 1 encounter card. Violent Tendencies. Tendencies attached to the villain. The attached villain takes any amount of damage from an attack. Give the attached villain 1 face down boost card. If the attack dealt 3 or more damage, discard this card. Okay. It's our go. Let's use Plan of Attack to go find an attack. So we get to look at the top 7 cards of our deck. My gosh, we found no attacks so far, and there's like 20 in our deck. We whiffed. Wow. I have not had that happen before. Apparently I should have used Yankee first. We'll use him next. Draw another Plan of Attack. Do we want to try to fail again? I don't know. Maybe we do, fam. Let's go ahead with Throg and hit him. That is going to push him to the next phase, which is going to put a toughness out, and it's going to put him to 18 hit points. It's also going to go fetch a side scheme and deal him a boost card. So we're looking for Tooth and Nail, which hopefully is that boost card we just dealt. It's not. surprise. It is a 8 scheme side scheme. Every time Venom takes damage from an attack, you remove an equal amount of threat from this side scheme, which is really good for us right now. Alright. There's a lot of bad stuff on the board right now. He is steady, so he's no longer stunned. That's a ball. But that's okay. Worse things could happen. So we could go ahead and play Bug, who could ping Tough off of him. Then we could flip up and surprise attack and Arachnobatics. That seems pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and play Bug, our boy. Bug's going to hit Tough off of him. He's not going to get to do anything fancy. He actually does have 2 boost cards, one from his ability and one from this. We haven't dealt 3 to him to get rid of that ability yet, which is a bit unfortunate. Alright, now we're ready to flip up. When we flip up, we're going to use this wild resource to play Surprise Attack to hit him for 5. So that's going to hit him for 5 here. It's going to remove 5 threat. It's going to deal him 2 boost cards and discard Violent Tendencies. That's terrifying, what's happening over there. We're also going to play Arachnobatics, which does 2 plus 3 plus 1 from Bell Tower, so it's going to deal 6 to him. So we can flip that to a 5 and remove a 1. That is going to remove to the Nail. That's going to deal him another boost card. Bug has now been healed. Well, Bug will be healed if I do an attack. I'm thinking about thwarting in case I hit in advance, but I like to live dangerously, so I'm just going to hit him for 3. No, that's stupid. I shouldn't give him more encounter cards. I should thwart for 2, like a responsible civilian, like Miles is. Okay. Readying everybody up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in hand. All we need is 7 damage. We drew no attacks. Beautiful. We did draw double life, so there's some good things in there. He's going to go and get 2 threat, and he's going to swing at us. So his attack could gain overkill, and the way Bell Tower reads, when Venom's attack would deal any amount of damage to an identity, overkill damage isn't damage from the attack, so I don't think we would get the reduction from time counters. So we're just going to defend this one, and he's going to hit us for a poop ton. So 2, 3, and remove a bell counter. 4, 5, and remove a bell counter. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he's hitting us for 10. Minus 2 from our defense. Minus 2. So we're taking 6. That didn't make me feel great. None of those did have overkill, so I should have just blocked with an ally. But, you know, as we do. Alright, the villain attacks you. Give that villain 1 additional boost card for this activation. Alright, well, here we go. Bug, this is all you. And Bug is going to take 2. Resolve this card's when revealed ability. It's on the quiet side, so we're going to take 1 damage. So right now Bug is taking 2, 3. You done your job. You done your job, son. Well, what can we do to him? We can't do 7, that's for sure. Well, maybe we can. Maybe we can. Let's go ahead and use a web shooter to play double life, to flip down. We're going to throw a Arachnobatics in there, shuffle it in, and then we're going to draw a guard from our boy. We draw a web shooter. This web shooter goes away. So right now, we've got 4 damage. And I think I can get to the full 7. So we're going to flip deal 2 with Miles, and deal a boost card. We're going to use defense mechanisms to put an energy spear onto Throg. He's going to hit for 4 and a boost card. And then we can pay 2 for Spider Girl. She can swing for 2 and a boost card. We squeaked out of there, barely alive. That was a super fun game. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to lay out the deck. We can talk about the cards, and we'll move on to the next villain in the next video. All right, and here's the deck. This is a minion-beating, flipping forms Miles Morales deck. You saw I flipped a lot of forms until Venom got steady, and then it became a little bit trickier, but it is a super fun deck. You can see we've got a ton of attacks. We've got 3 copies of Surprised Attack, 3 copies of Press the Advantage, 3 copies of Relentless Assault, 3 copies of Web Shot, 2 copies of Arachnobatics. So we're looking at 14 attack events right there. It's pretty insane. Plan of attack we use for when we flip down with double life to search for a surprise attack or to search for a relentless assault at the right time or a web shot. Web shooters are super important for making sure you hit your triggers. For a while I had enhanced resources in here. I ended up swapping them out for energy spear and some other things to get rid of toughness. But really fun deck overall. I've had games where I see a ton of minions and Miles is just spreading his damage around. What you're really trying to do is create a bunch of damage sources. And that works for Venom too, because when you flip over the bell tower, each damage source is going to get increased by 1. So if you attack with Web Shot, that's going to go to 5, and then the Venom Blast is going to go to 3. So now you're doing 8 damage with a 2-cost event that also stuns. All because of bell tower. You can do the same thing with any damage sources, right? So we're looking for lots of small damage sources like Press the Advantage. We're looking for constant damage sources like Bug sticking out with Energy Spear. Where did Bug go? I swear he was in this deck, and he seems to have disappeared on me. I think I threw him in the encounter discard pile when he got defeated. He should be in here. There should be a 6th ally. He's in there somewhere. Pretty fun deck. I actually use these upgrades from Miles, Defense Mechanisms and Power Within, very sparingly. I play them all the time, and then I try to save them for that exact moment, especially against Venom when you need that second status to shut down his steady. But for the most part, you're just flipping around, playing attacks, trying to eliminate minions and push damage onto the villain. So you're kind of this minion slayer, but you're also throwing out status conditions and tempoing for your team. So it's really a hybrid sort of minion slayer and control or support deck that can be super fun. So I hope people try out Miles with Aggression. I know that this box came with Justice cards and it came with Protection cards, and I promise the next 2 videos are going to be decks I play using those aspect cards with old heroes. So we'll do that next against Mysterio. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.